Wawaka mama moto wawaka.
Moto 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 guliwaka kabamba.
Wawaka wawaka wawaka
moto guliwaka chiboga.
Tarehe Sita, 6th February, has since 1981 been set aside to celebrate the founding of a people's army. It symbolizes and recognizes all efforts of founding fathers of the People's Revolution for Freedom and Democracy in Uganda as the building blocks of historic mission of socio-economic transformation.
Moto guliwaka busunju. Moto guliwaka kachinga. Moto guliwaka kapeka. Moto guliwaka karege. Moto guliwaka semuto.
Every 6th of February, commencing 1981, the Army and the people of Uganda join hands during the Defense Forces Week to engage in activities and celebrations aimed at cementing the strategic relationship that exists between the population and the defense forces. For years gone by, it has been, and for years and years to come, a culture of remembrance ought to be entrenched to ensure that at no time should the armed personnel forget that their unflankable strategy should be the support of the population. Likewise, for the people to be reminded of their patriotic duty to participate in the defense of their country. The 44th Tarehe Sita anniversary 2025 is being celebrated in Greater Masaka, Kyotera District, Kakuto Constituency, Kasasa Town Council grounds, as we climax the Defense Forces Week. The choice of Greater Masaka is consistent with the consideration made in the 3 previous anniversaries to particularly trace all footprints of the people's struggle for freedom and democracy. This includes the contribution by the FRONASA, the Front for National Salvation, that played a pivotal role in the liberation of the country from the diabolical rule of Idi Amin. Similarly, there is consideration of the great Pan-Africanist solidarity that needs to be celebrated. The role of the people of Tanzania, and particularly the unique contribution of Mwalimu Julius Nyerere, is highlighted forever and ever. It is for this reason that the 44th Tarehe Sita anniversary is celebrated under the theme Celebrating Pan-African Solidarity and the People's Sacrifice in the Struggle for Freedom and Democracy for Socio-Economic Transformation. In celebrating this year's Tarehe Sita, we recollect that on 5th February 1981, a group of gallant sons of Uganda, led by the father of the revolution, General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, set out on a mission of launching a protracted people's war. Armed with only 27 guns, they trekked through Greater Masaka with milestone events in Nyendo, Bukalasa in Kalungu district, through Sembabule until the dawn attack on Kabamba Barracks on 6th February 1981. This clearly demonstrates the historic importance of Masaka as a geographic area. It is worth noting that in the final phase of the armed struggle between 1985 and 1986, Masaka was the launchpad of the decisive battles before the fall of Kampala. Suffice to note that the same region was the gateway for the offensive against Idi Amin in the war between 1978 and 1979 through the Mutukula-Kyotera axis. Therefore, having national celebrations with the people of Kyotera district on this D-Day is to recognize the sacrifice of both the Tanzanian brothers and sisters alongside the Wananchi of Mutukula-Kyotera axis. Tarehe Sita celebrations in Greater Masaka, like it is always the case, is yet an opportunity for the UPDF to optimize on its core functions, among which is fostering harmony and understanding between the defense forces and civilians. It is therefore within this context that each year the Army engages in several civil-military cooperation activities of a quick nature impact by way of giving back to the people and expressing eternal gratitude to the population for their continued support towards national defense. Through the CIMIC advocacy, the UPDF plays a complementary role to all government efforts towards encouraging the people to embrace wealth creation and improvement of household incomes. Jaja Wabazukulu, His Excellency General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, the father of the nation, promised to secure the future of the Republic of Uganda. We have watched him deliver every day, especially the mighty victorious UPDF, pacifying the whole country by intensifying counter-terrorism operations focused on combating activities of ADF and Al-Shabaab and their regional and international affiliates, maintaining a proactive posture of zonal and operational deployments to deal with their threats, conducting preventive and disruptive operations to deny terrorists cross-border infiltrations and freedom of action in the country, and implementation of the Presidential Executive Order No. 3 on disarmament and related security measures in Karamoja aimed at curbing insecurity in the region. Operation Usalama kwa Wote has qualitatively arrested the insecurities in the region. All national borders are secure, save for the northern and western borderlines, which continue to experience spillover effects from activities of negative armed groups in southern Sudan and eastern DRC since July 2021. However, UPDF has trained and equipped over 400 counter-terrorism personnel to undertake counter-terrorism operations. UPDF has established a counter-security unit to detect, prevent, and curtail acts of cybercrime. Ministry of Defense and Veteran Affairs also partnered with Government of India and established a National Forensic Sciences University in Uganda. The fisheries protection operations have curtailed the practices of illegal fishing and smuggling of immature fish that was prevalent in Uganda, especially on Lake Victoria and Lake Albert. It is worth noting that the Masaka region that used to be notorious, coupled with shambolic acts of violence orchestrated and planned by organized groups such as the Bijambia activities that had brought considerable unrest in the region, were finally brought to order and calmness restored in the region. Robust military capabilities, check. Firepower, check. Deplorability, check. Command and control, check. Troop protection, check. Marines, check. Air Force, check. AD, check. Armored and motorized infantry, check. Armored and motorized assets of SFC, check. Among other capabilities of the mighty victorious UPDF, while they never rest. More UPDF recruitments according to district quotas based on the population of each district. A total number of 50,523 have been recruited since 2021 as per the policy of recruitment quotas per district. The military has also established the National Defense College, Uganda, dedicated to providing advanced military education and strategic training to high-ranking military and civilian officials in Uganda. The UPDF has conducted mission training of 11,404 personnel under the battle groups and United Nations Guard Unit, UNGU, for mission deployment in Somalia and troops for deployment in Equatorial Guinea. The UPDF continues to provide preventative, curative, and palliative care health services to the UPDF officers, militants, families, and surrounding communities in over 170 UPDF health facilities. Medical referrals are made for complex cases to other health facilities under MOU arrangements. In collaboration with the Ministry of Health, the UPDF jointly combated epidemics including COVID-19, Ebola, Mpox to prevent their spread within the country and around borders. Watoto wa Jeshi, the mighty victorious UPDF and the Ministry of Defense and Veteran Affairs in general, has also provided formal education to the soldiers' children and surrounding communities. There are over 52 learning institutions spread across the country, which include 37 primary schools, 11 secondary schools, and 4 tertiary institutions dedicated to this. His Excellency the President and Commander-in-Chief, General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni Jjajja Wabazukulu, launched the Presidential Support Fund, PSF, a revolving fund to support the spouses of UPDF personnel with Uganda shillings 1.9 billion initial capital to boost their income-generating projects. This revolving fund has accumulated to 4.42 billion Uganda shillings for over 5,000 beneficiaries in 321 groups. Additionally, the UPDF has continued to improve the welfare of its members through provision of goods and services at subsidized prices to a total of 10,855 service personnel in both construction materials and non-construction consumables through the Defense Forces shops. All UPDF officers and men that retire are paid their retirement package and pensions on time. However, about 68,000 veterans that retired before 2014, including those that went under reduction in forces exercise of period 1992 to 94, are being handled appropriately. On infrastructure development, the UPDF has constructed, renovated, and refurbished a number of defense and security infrastructures in the areas of accommodation, health facilities, training schools, and storage facilities, among others. Ugandans continue to see right through the UPDF as the most trusted and most dependable institution in the country. The Commander-in-Chief, His Excellency General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, continues to be very intentional in the efforts for a corrupt-free, disciplined, decisive, and patriotic army for the people of the Republic of Uganda. Today, the UPDF's peacekeeping missions are driven by a genuine sense of Pan-Africanism. Notable performances include AMISOM and Artemis in Somalia since 2007, Operation Shuja in the Democratic Republic of Congo, DRC, stabilization efforts in South Sudan, the mission in Equatorial Guinea, to mention but a few. The UPDF stands on patriotism and uses so little to do so much. This has enabled them to effectively undertake a number of MDS projects such as the Mandela National Stadium, health infrastructure works for Ministry of Health, schools for Ministry of Education, among others. The NEC Construction Work and Engineering Limited has also embarked on State House Entebbe renovation and expansion of clinic at Uganda National Research Institute. The people of Greater Masaka have witnessed firsthand over 44 projects being constructed or refurbished by the UPDF. These have successfully been completed and handed over, fully ready for use, to the different communities of the people of Greater Masaka region, from Kalangala District, Kalungu District, Bukomansimbi District, Sembabule District, Masaka District, Masaka City, Lwengo District, Lyantonde District, Rakai District, and finally, Kyotera District. The people of Greater Masaka have been lucky enough to enjoy the national launch, the regional launch in Zimbabwe, the district launches in the different districts of Greater Masaka. The people of Greater Masaka have benefited from medical camps, both static and mobile. They have enjoyed the public health engagements with the mighty victorious UPDF. The different families and households have received mosquito nets and mama kits. They have been able to secure their environment through tree donations and tree planting from the UPDF. The young people of Greater Masaka have enjoyed lots of education debates as well as ideological training in the UPDF week. There has been cleaning of different towns in the Greater Masaka region. Talk about the sports marathon where the men in uniform and the wananchi were able to run together for a noble cause, not forgetting the football matches between the UPDF and the wananchi, where most of the time the wananchi defeated the UPDF and took the trophies, the cows and the goats home. Was it a cynic trick for the UPDF to let the wananchi win, or indeed the wananchi defeated the UPDF? The people of Greater Masaka had their eyes opened to financial literacy. They were able to enjoy lectures on savings as well as pensions and gratuity from the very trusted leadership of the Wazalendo Sacco and the Wazalendo Sacco officers. The media industry in Greater Masaka was revolutionized with the several engagements from the mighty victorious UPDF officers. Interesting revelations, interesting conversations, and life-changing interactions were witnessed by the people of Greater Masaka, especially the callers on the different radio stations and the True Monabudu Television TMTV, the only TV station in Masaka City and Greater Masaka region, where the callers would call in and entertain the officers or challenge them with very, very important questions, where the UPDF officers confirmed that many of these callers raised very important and policy-informing questions that must be given special thought. His Excellency General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni sowed the mustard seed, and years later, we can't deny, the larger tree is standing tall. Today, Uganda is a peaceful nation with hope and a future secured for everybody. The noble struggle led by the Chief Patriot, His Excellency President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, has ensured that nobody is left behind. Everybody, no matter who they are and no matter where they are, must enjoy the fruits of the mustard seed. Gathered in Kyotera district, the Commander-in-Chief, the UPDF and the people, especially those from Greater Masaka region, are celebrating in recognition of the sacrifices made and the continued efforts to consolidate peace, security and stability. The people of Greater Masaka made a significant contribution to the successful execution of the people's struggle to liberate the country from dictatorship and backwardness. They provided support to FRONASA, Kikosi Maalum, and NRA during the people's armed resistance. A most special salute to the people of Greater Masaka for their continued support to the UPDF and other security organizations in rooting out anti-people forces like the recent very unfortunate Bijambia groups. The Greater Masaka people's support for the government's strategy to achieve Uganda Vision 2040 is evident in their embracing of wealth creation programs, resulting into bumper harvests of crops like coffee. After today and onwards, may these celebrations offer a grand call to each one of us to uphold the values, traditions, and aspirations of the founders of Uganda's revolution. Let us honor the known and unknown heroes, the living and the departed fighters who strived to liberate the nation, laying ground for a future of socio-economic transformation within a Pan-African framework. God bless the people of Uganda. God bless the people of Greater Masaka. God bless the mighty victorious UPDF. And God bless the founding father of the NRA, who is also the Commander-in-Chief of the Defense Forces and President of the Republic of Uganda, His Excellency General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, Jjajja w'Abazzukulu.